Kia ora and welcome to the Lightroom forecast. This is the collective reading for this full moon in Leo that's coming up toward the end of July. We're getting there, it's not that far away. So this full moon in Leo, I think we're all, wherever you happen to be in the northern hemisphere and the southern hemisphere, we're all kind of experiencing similar things, aren't we? In terms of what's happening around the world, is happening to us all. Anyway, we know this. Let's pull a few cards. A storyline today. These are general readings. They're general, intuitive tarot readings, and so take what resonates and just leave what doesn't. So let's have a look. We've got 3 cards coming out today, first and foremost, and we do go through and clarify. We have the Magician, Mercurial, Hermes, a gift, actually, of being able to enter different realms at will. I mean, in the sense that as Hermes, Thoth, Tahuti, Mercury, we actually can go down into the underworld and come back up again. This is the role of this messenger of the gods. Where do you see this playing out in your life right now? I mean, on a symbolic level, obviously. Does it feel, do you feel more adept at having sort of entered or been able to enter certain different realms within yourself, I mean, within your own psyche, and to return again to the light? Because I think there's a lot of polarities involved at the moment between the light and the dark, which exists in this world, in every individual as well. Those two things, amongst many other things, of course. So we start with the Magician. Wonderful card. Very fluid, very fast, very adept. We then have the 8 of Discs, a card of hard work. Well, yep, that would be hard work. Perfecting something over and over again. You know, there's a point where you kind of, if something's not working though, if it's not working, then what do? And if it is working, I guess you celebrate, don't you? I love this 8 of Discs in the Thoth deck because it is a beautiful tree. It is literally the tree of life, but we see the little fruits of our labours and how protected they are by the foliage here. We want to protect anything that is a new thing coming through that we've worked hard at. Of course, we want to protect that as it is fed out into the world, as it's exposed. We then have the glorious Empress, Mother figure, unconditional love, opening of the heart centre. We hear this a lot, the necessity to open the heart centre, to open the heart. In order to do that, though, it requires quite a bit of ongoing work, in the sense that it's an impossible task if you can't offer yourself a level of care, if you can't offer yourself a level of love and nurture and basically care, forgiveness, all of those wonderful things we need to offer ourselves. Whatever way that works for any individual. It can come in many forms. It can be many different activities. It might just be sitting with your thoughts, with yourself. But we need to be able to offer that first before we can actually offer that to others. And it does sound like a cliche, but it's true. It requires work for us humans. And so this Empress is really symbolic of unconditional love. It is very creative card because it holds the primordial seas. The primordial seas of Binah, from whence all things take form at some point. And so it's quite interesting. But anywho, so for the collective, this is a collective reading, so it is a very general reading. So I wasn't really focusing on anything in particular, but we get two cards which sort of go, which we'll just put to the side. But we've got first and foremost the Eight of Swords, which has been coming out a lot over the last few months, I must say, in a lot of the readings. So we do go through into the astro signs. Individual astro signs will be up today and tomorrow with this reading. But we have the Eight of Swords self-limitation card in a nutshell. It is about, obviously it's a sword, so we're talking about how we limit ourselves. Now we can blame everything for that. I mean, in some ways it's a natural process off the bat to blame other people, other things, situations for our own limitations. But this is a card of self-limitation. It's a mindset as much as anything. Traditionally, we're not bound in this card, but it appears that we are, but we're not. We could walk away, go off, do whatever we want, but we're not. In that Eight of Swords, we also get the Hanged Man at the same time. There is sometimes a necessary period in order to change our perspective on something, that there's not a lot coming in and not a lot going out. And I can tell you, like, it's winter here and it's just been constant sort of mist, rain, wet, damp, grey for quite a while. And it's that heaviness of that. I mean, it can start to feel a little bit oppressive and heavy. And I guess in this period of season, you know, it is a perfect time to actually, because people do it naturally, to withdraw, and that there's not a lot coming in, not a lot going out, and it is for a period of time. It is for a purpose. Often with that Hanged Man appearing, it is to change our perspective and possibly change our perspective on our own self-limitations. You know, as above, so below. All is the one and one is the all. And we need to keep reminding ourselves of that and the fact that we are all connected. And it's a simple thing, you know. I was thinking, I think it was a week or so ago. Anyway, I was in the, I mean, this is, you know, bear with me. It's probably something that you experience quite a lot anyway, in whatever situation, at the supermarket, in the checkout. There was a guy in front of me who was just completely wired. And so, you know, stand here, there was a few delays, he was getting really agitated. And probably standing maybe 2 meters away. But our whole biorhythm, our whole body rhythm can be impacted by someone. That's just a prime example where I could feel, not that I was concerned, I just thought he was unduly agitated, but I could feel my own heart rate go up. I could feel that, you know, however we are aware of it, we are impacted, obviously, but we are certainly connected to other people in a vibratory sense, on an energetics level. This is what the age we're entering, as I keep going on about. It's an age of energy. Anyway, let's just go through, clarify these cards. We've got Magician, Mercury, Hermes. We've got the Eight of Discs, which is a wonderful card, bringing new things into form and perfecting that. It's something new. And then we have the Empress, unconditional love, a wonderful position to aspire to. So let's look at the Magician here for the collective reading for this full moon in Leo. Coming up. Ten of Discs, another disc, family patterns, genetic heritage, history, habits. You get my drift here. The Ten of Discs is often about that, about our loyalties, what we grew up with, believing, how those things change over time, whether they do, whether they don't. Our genetic history. Sometimes it doesn't have to be genetic. How generational themes can, continue down the line. Sometimes if we're motivated or driven to understand certain things which don't work for us, i.e. we see that here in the Eight of Swords, self-limitation, we investigate these things. We go down. As I said at the beginning, Mercury moves through into the underworld and back again. He can do that, she can do that, non-gendered here. So we're looking at some of the dark spaces in this. They're not all dark either. Ten of Discs, interesting. Pluto's still playing quite a big role here, and I know it is America's Pluto return, isn't it? Let's have a look at the Eight of Discs, please. Wow, interesting. Very interesting. So we get the Four of Swords. Thinking. Resting. Formulating, actually. I do see this as formulating work. Whatever work is to you, whatever work is to the world, we're rethinking it. We're restructuring that. Excuse me, with that, sorry, too, as we get the Magician again. There's something very, like we really have to extend ourselves in order to have stamina during these times. I mean, extending on a personal level and on a collective level, therefore. So we have the Magician and we also have the Hermit, not dissimilar to the Hanged Man, but the Hermit really goes on a journey. It is the hero's journey. It's a card of Virgo, Joseph Campbell's hero's journey, looking inward, going deep, shining a light. How do we do this in our lives? How do we do it at certain times? Sometimes we're propelled into that zone. Sometimes through sheer dissatisfaction, and other times because we know we have to change our perceptions. 5 of Cups, 3 down, 2 still there. We're not seeing them in this card because it's a card of lessons. It's a card of understanding disappointment and understanding shifting our own personal energy as well. Let's look at the Empress for the collective, please. For the collective. Got seagulls flying up over there. Must be a bit of a storm at sea today. Empress. There's a choice. Two of Swords. That's a choice, all right. This is a decision based on our gut. There's a similarity in some ways, you know, when you look at the High Priestess card in this Morgan Greer deck, actually. It always appears very similar to me, this card. We're trusting our intuition, guidance yet again, just as the High Priestess. There's a very internal guidance here, your connection with Source Force. But definitely a decision. We get a choice, and then we have the Two of Cups. The importance of perspective here, but also reciprocity, equal. Not necessarily measuring every offering that is a mutual offering, but not measuring what's in our cup and what's in theirs, technically. It is a reciprocal balance. It's probably one of the most harmonious cards, the Two of Cups. Emotional balance. And making a decision not necessarily based on rationale, on facts and figures, but on what is going on in our wonderful gut. Is our gut healthy or is it not? I'm thinking in terms of microbiomes. Anywho, what else shall we get? One more card here. So the general gist is, well, there's works in progress. I mean, there's a lot of old things that are being cleaned, and cleared. You would have to say that, yeah. We have the King of Swords, which to me is about this leather-bound figure sweeping through, cutting off the detritus, clearing the crusty bits, because we need new growth. We need new, fresh growth. Institutions get old, get tired, become redundant, pretty much. And then we have these Three of Wands coming out. This is a journey. This is a journey that we need strength and fortitude for. And so in whatever ways you can encourage that within yourself and those around you, it can only be a wonderful, wonderful benefit for the collective. We're going to get a Brian Froud Pixie and Fairy card and an art oracle, because they're quite fun. As I said, stamina for yourself and those around you, fortitude, strength, all these things we need to dig deep for. We have Lisa the Shadows, which is a wonderful card in saying that, because Lisa the Shadows lights up those shadows and not only sheds addictions and dependencies and codependencies and habits that are not helpful anymore, but also shines the light for others. As I said, for others in your life, shine a light, show the way. Kind of interesting there. And art oracle card, just for some light entertainment, just for a light element at the end. Oh God, this card always comes out, and it was only last week, actually, last week or the week before one of the readings, that I realised that the landscape in the background of this card was not a landscape. actually. It's, well, you can see what it is. So anyway, where's my glasses? Gustave Courbet, I loved his paintings. Artwork, I think, inspiration. Anyway, you'll get it. Fight the power, paint the powerless. Show what you see, not what you saw. And may your art help finance your legal fees. Well, that would always be good, wouldn't it? Art finance everything. That would be even better. So on that note, for this collective reading for the full moon in oh my God, actually, in Leo. I was just thinking, is it a full moon? Have I got that wrong? Full moon or new moon? We just had a full moon. Oh my God, so I did get that wrong. This is what this sort of winter does to a person. You kind of lose your track. Anyhow, I mean, I'm looking out here on this. You probably see that reflected in that mirror, but it's a huge hedge out here. It's just grey and misty and seagulls. On that note, take good care wherever you are, north, south, east or west. Take care. Ka kite, bye. Toodle. And do check out all the astro readings. Cheers.